Hey everyone, and welcome to the channel. So today we're going to take a look at this 2023 Audi S5 Sportback. Huge shout out to Audi Northlake for providing this vehicle for me today. Definitely check out their website. That link is down in the description. The S5 that you see behind me is finished off in Mythos Black Metallic, and it has an MSRP just over $72,000. And we'll start off today's review with what powers this S5. Underneath the hood is the 3-liter turbocharged V6 paired to the 8-speed Tiptronic automatic transmission. This pumps out 349 horsepower around 6,300 RPM and 369 pound-feet of torque around 3,200 RPM. That power is sent through the Quattro all-wheel drive system. This weighs in right around 3,900 pounds. It'll do 0 to 60 in 4.3 seconds with a top speed of 155 miles an hour, and it has a fuel capacity of 15.3 gallons. You'll expect to see around 21 miles per gallon in the city and 30 out on the highway. This has a wheelbase of 111.2 inches. Its overall length is 187.2. It has a width of 72.6 and a height of 54.6 inches. As we make our way to the exterior styling now for this 2023 Audi S5, let's start off with the hexagonal grille. So on this model, the surround is finished off in chrome, which is a really nice accent against this black. The S5 badge and Audi badge are also finished off in chrome. There's a nice integrated forward-facing camera to provide even more visibility along with all the parking sensors. And then there's even more chrome accents running throughout that grille as well. And more of that brushed chrome makes its way to underneath the headlight housings where there's a sensor, which is a part of the adaptive cruise and all of that technology. There's even a cutout too to provide even more aerodynamics for this sporty sedan. You'll notice too there's more of that chrome trim in the lower section as well as some more cutouts. And then this even has LED headlights, DRLs, and turn signals, which have a nice sleek housing to them. Nice design with the LED, DRL, and turn signal in the upper section. And then there's some clean lines that run down the hood. They make their way from the base of the side mirrors basically, all the way to the top section of the hexagonal grille, with the two lines meeting it nicely right in the middle. And making our way to the side now, this model has the S Sport package, so that gives it the adaptive suspension. It also gives this model the red brake calipers, and then this has a set of 19-inch wheels with a multi-spoke design and a two-tone finish. And this particular model also has the carbon fiber package. So you'll see the mirror caps are finished off in carbon fiber. These also have an integrated camera and the turn signal, and it does have a sunroof up top as well. Now more of that chrome trim surrounds all of the windows, and then this has some nice lines running down the side. You'll notice all of the lines in the lower side skirts. There's also one just at the back of the headlight housing. It goes through the S5 trim badge and then just above the door handles all the way to the rear. And with this model being the Sportback, it gives it more of that coupe-like design for being a four-door sedan. And then last up in the rear, more of that carbon fiber makes its way to this trunk-mounted spoiler, which has a nice design to it. The Audi badge is finished off in chrome. This does have a backup camera with all the sensors, even then sequential LED taillights that have the turn signals as well. And in the lower section, there's more of that brushed trim with the quad tip dual exhaust and a few fins right in the middle to give it more of that sporty appearance. Now with the exterior wrapped up, let's make our way to the cargo space. Like I mentioned earlier, this is a Sportback, so it doesn't have the traditional trunk. If I double tap this button on the key fob, or use the one up underneath, you'll see the entire rear end open up, making this a much more practical vehicle to drive. And as you can tell, there is a lot of room for any items you need. There's a net on the driver's side. There's also one over on the passenger side. You can get some different options with the all-weather floor mats, even this tray that you can place in here. And then you can also lift up the entire floor, and you have the spare tire along with a little bit of storage space that you can use if needed. And then you can also remove this small cover and fold the back seats down, and that gives you a lot more interior space. So if this is your only vehicle, it is very practical to fit in a lot of items. Now for the power trunk, you can close and lock the vehicle. The one on the left side will just close it. And so with that wrapped up, let's make our way to the rear seats now. So you can actually lock and unlock this S5 using the rear door handles, which makes it a lot more convenient. And then for this door panel, it's covered in some very nice materials. Like I mentioned earlier, with the carbon fiber package, you'll see a trim piece just underneath the brushed aluminum release handle. There's some Alcantara on the insert on the back, along with leather and stitching on the armrest and grab handle. This even has the 10-speaker Bang & Olufsen sound system, and there's a little bit of storage space in the lower section of the door. And then more of that leather makes its way to these seats with the diamond stitch pattern running down them. Definitely a nice design. And at 5'10", I can make my way into these back seats where I do have the front seat set at my height. You'll notice that there's a storage net behind both front seats. I do have plenty of room for my feet and my legs. And then right in the middle, there are 2 air vents along with the temperature adjustments. This even has heated rear seats, so you have those controls along with some auxiliaries so you can charge electronics. And even with the Sportback design, my head is just up against the headliner, so I am comfortable in this back seat. If you're a little bit taller than me, it might be a little bit cramped, but this is practical to have backseat passengers in, so you could definitely make it work. Now, right in the middle, if I open this armrest, you'll notice that there's a little bit of storage space on the back section, and then we have the individual cup holders on each side, and you can also fold down the middle seat by itself. So we have that 40-20-40 split, where you can put in some items if you don't have a center passenger or you want to use this as a little bit larger of an armrest. And as far as visibility goes, a little bit of a pillar there, but it's nice to have that window on both sides, so you still have plenty of visibility and room for your backseat passengers. Now, as we make our way to the driver interior now, you can lock and unlock this car using the door handle, obviously. And then the only differences with the front door panels is lock and unlock with all the memory seating adjustments. There's all of the window controls, even the side mirror adjustments. They are power folding and heated. There's the trunk release along with a little bit more storage space and all of the same materials just to give it that nice design. Now, the S badge is down on the door sill, and then these same leather seats with S right in the middle. A little bit more bolstering support for the front seats, and these are automatic seats, so all those adjustments are down on the side, along with being able to activate the massaging seats, which is of course great to have. And then as far as hopping into the front seats, the door sill is very low, so it's definitely easy to make your way into the front seat. And as we move on to this steering wheel, it's completely covered in solid and perforated leather with the S badge down below and some more of the brushed accents. On this right side, you'll see the heated steering wheel control along with Bluetooth and voice commands. There's volume and tuning for the radio. And then on this left side, all of these will control the virtual cockpit. This even has steering wheel mounted paddle shifters, which are finished off in black. But let's fire this S5 up. With my foot on the brake, that button is located over on this right side, and we can bring this to life. And coming back to the virtual cockpit, currently over on the left side, you can see the tach, miles per hour is on that right side, and then right in the middle, there's a lot more information that you can go through. So currently it's showing the short-term memory. If I scroll down, there's long-term memory. You can look at energy consumers, as well as the driver assistance, and then any traffic signs and information. If I go all the way up to the top, you can see the date and the time. I can even scroll over to any messages along with the audio. There's the phone when you have that paired in on, and you can even pull up the navigation in a large screen, and you can zoom in and zoom out. So it gives you great graphics for the gauge cluster to be able to monitor all that information. Now you can also make this much smaller. So if I click on the view button over on this left side, you'll see the navigation go to that left side, where I can still scroll through all of that information that I just went through. So you can see that in a little bit different of a screen with the tach front and center, along with miles per hour, what gear the vehicle is in, as well as the driving mode too. So currently it is in dynamic. So it's nice to have that configurability just depending on what you're using. Now over on this left side, you'll see all the headlight adjustments along with the dimmer switch for the gauges. There's even the heads-up display adjustment that you can use with more carbon fiber surrounding all of those controls. There's one air vent. Like I mentioned, this does have the heads-up display. It's going to be hard to see, but it just shows the miles per hour, of course, and your speed limit. And then right in the middle, we have this touchscreen system where you can go through a lot more icons. So currently on the home screen, just by pushing on that upper left, you'll see music along with phone and navigation. I can swipe over to more of these icons like you just saw. So there's radio, media, you can go into navigation. If I click on vehicle now and go into the drive select, you can go between comfort, auto, dynamic, and individual, so the different driving modes. You can go into the seats, your driver assistance, even look at some favorites. If I go back to home though and scroll over again, you can see some more icons like the weather and news and messages, any information like that. Now over on this left side, there's shortcuts to the radio and along with your music, so you can pair your phone, along with having your phone paired to go through all that info. You can even pull up the navigation in the center screen. So whether you want it in the gauge cluster or the infotainment system, you have that readily available. And then underneath that, there are 2 air vents. They make their way over to the passenger air vent all the way over, with carbon fiber coming back to the second smaller screen right in the middle. It's a nice trim piece to see. And with this center screen, this is all the climate adjustments. So you'll see fan speed, where you'd like the air to go. If I just hover my finger on these buttons, you can actually see if you need to push it up or down depending on what you'd like. So it's nice to have that. This has a 3-zone climate system, so you can even go into the rear if you'd like to. And then the temperature dials are on both sides, along with the heated seat controls and some other defrosters. Now underneath that, there's a shortcut to the driving mode. So just by pushing on that, you'll see that screen that I just showed. There's the engine start stop along with traction control. This even has the parallel parking assist. So if I push on that dial, it will start to look for a spot. So it's great to have that if you're driving this around the city. There's the parking sensors, which you can turn on and off. You can even shut off that upper screen as well if you'd like to. And then underneath that, there's some more auxiliaries and a little bit of storage, so you can place your phone or other items there to be able to charge them. There are 2 cup holders right in the middle and a lot more storage space just behind that. And as you can tell, there's piano black surrounding everything in the middle, along with having leather and even carbon fiber running down this right side, which leads to volume and tuning for the radio, a little bit of storage space, and then right in the middle is the leather wrap shifter. Now the release is on this left side, so if I push this forwards, that will pop up with the backup camera, where this has the 360-degree view. So with all the cameras on the exterior, you definitely have plenty of visibility, and depending on the angle that you need, you can see all these graphics. You can even see where the front and the rear wheels are at the same time. And then over on this right side is the top-down view. There's even a shortcut to the parking assist, so you can turn that on and off and still have the cameras up, which is great to have. Now to put this into drive, we'll just pull it all the way back. If I push it to the right now, that is for the manual setting, where you can use the paddle shifters or shift by using the shifter. And then park is on the back side. It will automatically go right into the middle as well. Now the electronic parking brake is just behind that. And as you can tell with the leather wrapped armrest, if I open this up, there's a wireless charging pad along with another auxiliary. You can place in a good amount of items there if you need to. You can also lock this armrest in 2 different positions. And then if you lift it all the way up, it will release. You can put it down, and you can even slide it forwards, just depending on the comfort that you need. Now over on this passenger side with the glove box, that has an ample amount of room for all of that information. We'll take another look at this interior with the Napa leather seats. Definitely have a great design to them. And like I mentioned, this does have the sunroof. So those adjustments are right in the middle to be able to open up the sunshade as well as the sunroof itself. And this even has touch sensitive dome lights on both sides. As we set off now behind the wheel for this 2023 Audi S5 Sportback, I'm a huge fan of Audis. I really like pretty much all of their models, as I've been able to drive all of them. And with the S5 here, you're getting a really cool family style sedan that has more of that coupe-like design to it, being called the Sportback and having the large opening for the cargo space. But then you also have some power and a little bit of performance if that's something that you're looking to get out of your family style vehicle. So if you need all the practicality basically of having all of this room and that ample amount of storage, this is a perfect blend. And we are going to keep it in dynamic mode, so it's still in dynamic. We'll give it another slight acceleration. There's a few pops in that exhaust, but this is a quick car. That wasn't even half throttle, not doing anything too crazy today. And I love how responsive these paddles are. I do kind of wish they were a little bit larger, but nonetheless, they are there, and you can drive this on some back roads. This is a good performance vehicle without being overboard as far as being performance oriented. You can go up to the RS5 if you want, or even the RS7 if you need a little bit bigger of a vehicle. As far as visibility goes, it's very easy to see over that right shoulder. This is a lot of fun to drive, and I think this model is spec'd very, very nicely. There's not too many options for this model. We have the carbon fiber, we have the adaptive suspension, so it's going to give you a very nice ride. That's pretty much it for this model as far as options go. And when you want to, you can tone it back to comfort mode here. And with that suspension, it's going to get a little bit looser, and with the adaptive and even some of the magnetic suspension options, there's a pretty good difference between both of those. So it's a nice suspension option to have. And you can just drive this like a normal vehicle now. If you're driving this to work, gas station, whatever it may be, and you just want a nice, comfortable ride, it's going to give you what you're looking for as far as just being a daily driver. And now as we switch over to the POV angle, you can see what it's like to be behind the wheel for this S5 Sportback. Definitely a quick vehicle, pretty quiet too, even in dynamic mode, so it's not going to be a loud vehicle. If that's not something that you're interested in, but you want something that is quick at the same time. And as I mentioned, even going over a bridge where the road is a little bit different, in dynamic mode, it's still a comfortable ride. Very smooth, very quiet too. Audi is known for having some very nice, luxurious style models, and this S5 is definitely one of them. Now we can put it back into the normal settings, back into comfort mode, and it is a very nice model to drive. Like I said, we have the cruise control setting over on this left side, so I can easily adjust the distance pacing there. And now we have that set. And also with the button on the side, we have a few different settings for the massaging seat. So if you're going to be putting a lot of seat time behind the wheel, you have all those adjustments as needed to make you comfortable while you're driving this down the road. But I think that is going to wrap it up for this walk around review and test drive behind the wheel of the 2023 Audi S5 Sportback. Once again, huge shout out to Audi Northlake for providing this vehicle for me today. Check out their website, that info is down in the description. And if you enjoyed today's video, give it a huge thumbs up. Consider smashing that subscribe button so you don't miss out on our daily uploads. And I will see you all in the next video.